Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Slab for Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. I'm your host, Nate, and I'm here with your sports card rundown. If you like this video, please click the like and the subscribe button. Helps us get this video out to more card collectors like yourselves. All right, first up is our IG post of the day, and we've got Brock Purdy. Yeah, Brock Purdy. If you hadn't heard of this guy before this past Sunday, well, you're probably not alone. He was a 7th-round pick out of Iowa State. Iowa State is not exactly a college football powerhouse. Quarterback position, maybe not the strong suit for Iowa State, and yet he was a 7th-round pick. He made the NFL. So congratulations to him. And then he got thrusted into action this past Sunday. You're not expecting that probably as a 7th-round pick. You're probably not expecting that when you have Trey Lance, who was drafted top 5 the year before on the team, and Jimmy Garoppolo, who was the former starter on the team for the year. Yet Trey Lance went down week 2, I believe, maybe week 1, and Jimmy Garoppolo got put into his place. And then Jimmy Garoppolo went down, broken foot this past Sunday, and what do you know, Brock Purdy finds himself in the lineup in command of an NFL franchise. And what does he do? Well, he did pretty stinking well. He went 25 for 37 for 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Played well enough to get the 49ers a win over a very good Miami Dolphins team. And, of course, the card market and the NFL quarterback card market did exactly what you'd expect the NFL card market to do if you have been following the NFL card market for a while. Anytime a backup quarterback comes in and does anything remotely decent, woo, their card prices go crazy, especially a guy like Brock Purdy, who was a 7th-round pick where the card prices were cheap. That's when it explodes, and you can see his prices here. I mean, it's just insane. 5-day trend on this Leaf certified on the left here that you can see here, $49, up 513%, and a 3-day trend here on the certified auto, up to $80, 186% rise. These are obviously very small prices people paid for these cards, and they're making some money off them. So congratulations to them. It's not huge money being spent on him, and he doesn't have every card in under the sun. But yet again, it's a risk. I mean, we're talking about a 7th-round pick. Now, he does have a really good team around him. He really does. The 49ers are an amazing team. They have an amazing defense. They've got offensive weapons in Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. That being said, it's a huge risk taking him on, especially because you're only buying him for this year. You're only buying, hoping that he can go on a Nick Foles type of run to the Super Bowl with the amazing talent around him, because next year it's going to be Trey Lance's job again, or it's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo's job again, and Purdy will be put to the back yet again. So buy with knowing, if you are buying, know that it is probably only for this year and that he will get 2nd, 3rd string yet again next year. But for this year, at least, you know he's going to be starting the rest of the way. And so that makes him an interesting buy. It makes him one of the times where I don't hate the purchases, but I also don't love them because it is a huge risk still. Even $49, you can find something to do with that $49 that is not a Leaf certified or a certified card. So the NFL market is crazy. The QB market is crazy. And Brock Purdy is showing yet again that it never changes. All right, what's hot? The MLB hot stove is what is hot. And we had a couple signings on Monday, the day of the winter meetings, that made huge waves. One being Justin Verlander. So obviously DeGrom signed with the Rangers, left a spot open in the Mets rotation, and they filled it with Justin Verlander for a 2-year, $86 million deal. I saw an interesting thing from Ken Rosenthal where in his 20s, he earned 40-some million. In his 30s, he earned 200-some million. And in his 40s, since this will be covering his age 40 and 41 season, he will now earn 86 million, more than his entire 20s combined. Very, very crazy contract. At least I think $43 million a year. Obviously, Verlander was amazing. 1 year removed from a Tommy John surgery, wins the Cy Young Award. All those good things, but that is a crazy amount of money to spend on somebody who's going to be 40 and 41. That being said, if there's any pitcher I would like to have that old that I think is going to continue being good, it is Justin Verlander. So I'm excited to see him as the Mets. It's interesting they turned from probably the best pitcher in baseball when healthy, Jacob deGrom, but you couldn't count on him being healthy, to grabbing a 41-year-old who they know should be relatively healthy and pitch, 170, 180, 190, 200 innings a year for them the next 2 years. Whereas deGrom, while he is just as good, if not way better than Verlander over the next 5 years, the risk of him only pitching 100 innings is strong. So I get why they did it, but it is bold. And as for card prices, 25 cards sold in the early going on Monday after the news was announced, including a PSA 9 2005 Bowman Gold that sold for $160. And the reason I'm interested in that particularly is because I'm holding one. Bowman Gold, but not a PSA 9, an SGC 9 raw review. You can see it there on the screen. I pulled this a while ago. Last year, there was a box. I bought it. I pulled it. I didn't really think much of it. I got it rock hard reviewed. SGC 9. So I'm thrilled with that. PSA 9 goes for $160. I'll see what I can get for this. It's obviously not actually slabbed. You would have to slab it at SGC. You can slab it for 40% of the cost. But I think I might have to now sell it. So we'll see. We'll see if that $160 sale is legit. But I'm excited for him moving, winning a Cy Young, and then moving. Good news for his card market and good news for me. So shout out there. And then also Trey Turner signing an 11-year, $300 million deal with the Phillies. He had 42 total sales, which is amazing. 42 sales in just a couple of hours there, way more than Verlander had. And the thing about Turner I found interesting is I had a buddy text me and say, $300 million, 11 years for Trey Turner, ? What in the world? And we got into a little spat because I was like, yeah, definitely worth it. And he's like, Trey Turner? That dude just had 4.9 WAR, and he was just looking at one season, yada, yada, yada. And then he brought up Bryce Harper and said, Bryce Harper is worth way more than Trey Turner, and they're getting like equivalent contracts. That doesn't seem fair, yada, yada. Check this out. Trey Turner in his career over 162 games, averages 5.7 Baseball Reference wins above replacement, 162 games over his career. Bryce Harper, same age, over 162 games, 5.0 Baseball Reference wins above replacement. Now, yes, Harper had the very high 9.7 or whatever wins above replacement season. So Turner doesn't have exactly the high highs that Harper has had, but he's been much more consistent over the last couple of years. And so you've gotten to a point where when you compare Harper and Turner, it's actually quite favorable for Turner in that aspect. And so I am curious to see how he ages. Obviously, speed is a huge part of his game. And, it doesn't age well in the 30s. That being said, he is elite speed. And even if he downgrades to merely good speed, he's still a super, super valuable player. So I will be curious to see what happens to Trey Turner as he matures into his 30s. But for right now, love the deal for the Phillies. Grabs them a top-flight shortstop with pop, with speed, with good defense that they can plug right into that lineup at the front. You've got Schwarber, you've got Turner, you've got Harper, you've got Castellanos, you've got JT Realmuto. You've got so many guys that can play in that offense. It's going to be incredibly fun to watch. We're going to see how they do. But Trey Turner, and you can see a 2016 Bowman Chrome Orange Auto BGS 9 just sold for $500. A very fun time for the Phillies, a very fun time for the Mets, a fun time for the Rangers, and I'm hoping a lot of other teams get involved here in the winter meetings because it's been a really good couple of days. All right, lastly, our trender is Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis, I'm sure, as you know, has been on an absolute tear lately. And that is the big word there. The big key word is lately, because with Anthony Davis, the question was never, is he going to be good when he steps on the court? Of course, he's good at basketball when he steps on the court. He's always been good at basketball when he steps on the court. It's will he step on the court? And so for the last 4 years, he has missed at least 20 games a season, which is a concern. And yes, he has been incredible these last 9 games. In the last 9 games, not only has he not shot under 50% any of the games, but he also, in those 9 games, 318 points, 140 rebounds, and 26 blocks in that time span, which is absolutely bonkers numbers. video game type numbers. If you played on NBA 2K and just used the same player, those are the type of numbers you'd get, and yet he's doing that in real life. He has been amazing. The Lakers in that time span in those 9 games are 7-2, which is really good. They have turned it around in their last 10 games, one without Anthony Davis. They are 8-2. So the Lakers are turning it around in large part because of Anthony Davis's play. And yet there's always that like fear that the other foot is going to drop, and the other foot in this case being an injury, time missed because of some sort of nagging ankle or knee or a hamstring or quad or shoulder or whatever it might be. That is always the fear for Anthony Davis. And so while this is a bit pessimistic of a take, I'm not sure I'm going to buy in until I see him healthy for an entire season, and maybe 2. Because right now, yes, he is amazing, but we knew he was amazing. Is this a better stretch than he's probably ever had in his career? Sure. Yet, it's not so incredible that I'm like, Anthony Davis is the #1 player in all of basketball, because to be the #1 player in all of basketball, you have to be available. Availability is the best ability, and he has not been available over the past 4 seasons. So I will be waiting to see if he can keep this up over the course of a season, not just a 9-game stretch. As for his prices, his 2012 Prism Silver Rookie PSA 10, that has decreased 36% in the last year, which just goes to show you what not being available has done to his card prices and the poor Lakers record. But it has increased 66% since its low point on October 10th or October 30th till now. So it is up since its low point in the last year, but it is down overall. We'll see where it moves from here, but I think a lot of people, myself included, want to see a full season from Anthony Davis and not just 9 games before we freak out about how well he is playing. As for what's happening with SlabStox, I have a 2022 Prism World Cup break today, and we have what's brewing tomorrow, which is going to be 2022 Prism World Cup. So if you are enjoying the World Cup, if you want to get a little bit more Prism World Cup in, join us 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Whatnot for the Prism World Cup. You just have to look up SlabStox on Whatnot and save the stream, and you can get in on some Prism World Cup breaks with me, Nate. All right, thank you everyone for joining in today, and I will talk to you guys on the next Daily Slab on Wednesday. See you, everyone.